You'll have treatment undertaken by a range of robots and humans, and whether you like it or not, they'll actually be the best mix, as opposed to just pure human. Or you might want to have a human and then you'll die, but the idea of having robots and humans interacting in a way either through software or through robotics will become real. All systems will have data sharing, and this idea of these closed silos, often driven by hospital systems, by colleges, by computer companies, should be mandated away, and governments could do that. They haven't yet, they should. Equipment costs should drop dramatically as you take the MRI scanner and say, what's the unique parts of that scanner? Let's have that as a little bit of hardware I can buy at Bunnings and have it all, not quite, all IoT, all Internet of Things, so it talks IP to any software rather than just to the Philips software or the Ericsson software, so the cost of those devices should come down. It's happened everywhere else in technology. It should happen in medical. It hasn't happened in medical yet. And no longer should there be these silos of data. And that we should then, in the longer term, see a lower health cost per person. But we've got to go through all these barriers driven by people protecting their patches to get there. In the short term, what's going to happen? We're going to have in our business in venture capital, we look at things that's called the vertical stack. We look at between a product and a customer, whatever, whether it's a customer, a person or an enterprise, what are the layers in this stack and who's doing what and what value add does each layer provide and how can we disrupt some of that and build businesses? And so there's this vertical stack between either the hospitals and the patients or the hospitals, GPs and patients. And there's going to be this immense battle for who controls parts of that stack and who can try and lock it down. And there'll be lots of money spent to try and lock down parts of these stacks. There'll be control over who can diagnose who for what, which is ridiculous because over time software can do a better job in certain instances than the average, no disrespect to GPs, I love GPs as well, than the average GP. There'll be a battle over who can treat who, again, over this issue. And there'll be a battle over pricing for treatments because the reality is a lot of these treatments, a lot of the tests we saw that problem with pathology recently, a lot of the tests should come down and a lot of the treatment costs should come down. So what do we need to do? We need to make sure we open up all the databases, we need to push on this wearables tracking and get that integrated with health insurers and with government systems. We need to push for price and quality transparency, treatment effectiveness. We as consumers should not continue in the world we have today where we can get price transparency on a toaster. I know that I can get that toaster cheaper anywhere, yada yada. I should be able to know how good my surgeon or my GP is or that drug is, in fact. And so the idea of lack of transparency is ridiculous in the world we live in. And we have a far greater integration of global developments. Australia is a leading country in healthcare, but there's still pockets where we are not leading. And again, in the world we live in today, there's no reason that when something happens tomorrow in the US, a new treatment, that shouldn't be at least known by Australian consumers and patients, let alone being used. Thank you very much.